This cardigan makes me look homely. Whatever. Hey guys, Danny here. I am doing a quick January end, February beginning video, just kind of a rundown of the things that I did, liked, read, created in January, and kind of what's going on in my February. So let's dive right in, because this might be a little long, but I'm gonna try to cut it down. Okay, so let's go into the tarot first, right? So I did my walkthrough Wednesdays this month, well, January, and I did the Fountain Tarot, Circle of Life Tarot, I did the Wooden Tarot, and the Moonchild Tarot. So I worked with these all month long. By far, the winner is the Moonchild Tarot. I used it for everything this month. January. I used it for everything in January. It not only is beautiful, I love the matte finish. I love everything about it, you know. Everything I said about it in the walkthrough was absolutely true, but I have to tell you, I did not put it down, and like, it's still by my desk. I don't know if it's going anywhere. Like, I love this deck right now. So by far, that was my favorite one that I used in January. It never fails. You guys. Let me go see what Charlie's barking at. If you guys knew how much I edit of just noise in this house, I would love to do live videos, but like, y'all, it is never quiet in here. Oh my God. It only looks nice and serene most of the time. Anyway, I have no idea what I was saying. So anyway, Moonchild Tarot was my favorite for January by far. It's staying by my desk. While I am putting the other ones away, maybe except for the Wooden Tarot. I think that might stay by my desk as well. Because like, I still feel like it's not even in here, it's on my desk. I just feel like it has more to tell me. It has more to tell me. Speaking of which, so in January, also, I don't know why I wear this mascara. It makes my eyelashes itch. Fucking random. Anyway. I'll make it, you guys. We'll make it through this. Okay, so anyway, in January, I heard some people complaining about people personifying their decks on Instagram. Somebody had like kind of ranted about it, about like, you know, it's not the deck, it's you, and blah, 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 blah. Like, I get that, but at the same time, like, just let people be people. If I want to personify that deck and say it has more to tell me, more to show me, yes, in a way, I feel like I'm saying that I have more to explore with this deck. But, like, if I want to personify a deck and say that, like, what's the big deal? Side note. Anyway, let's move on. So, having said that, those are the ones I used in January. Now, in February, by request, I'm going to be doing the first one coming up, the Cosmos Tarot. I'm going to hit up my current love on my desk, which is the Mini Queens Tarot. My sweetheart, the Sassore Bito Tarot. And the Wild Unknown, because I'm really digging this black and white theme. I'm digging these like darker decks right now, as in like darker colors on the decks. So that's where we're going in February. You can expect the Cosmos Tarot tomorrow. So, yeah, so that one was requested, so that one comes up first. That's what I'm doing in February for our decks. So, January also saw a little bit in my Grimoire. Yay. I feel like I haven't messed with this in so long, like haven't showed you guys in so long, but there's not that much There's not that much new. So, we ended on this light language right here. This month last month, I keep saying this month, you're just gonna have to deal with that. I'm sorry, you're just gonna have to deal with that. I mean January. I added my beetle in here, a little bit of what that's for, as in like renewal, sun energy, awakening your spirit. It speaks of eternity, and the magic within. But there's a big focus on just the strength of the beetle. I created here a sigil. This is for strength and resolve to do and be better. And so I just used a whole page to do that. I did actually put my honey jar in here. I just never had it inside my grimoire before, so I went ahead and did that. And I pulled from my bullet journal. I did kind of like just kind of a plain little magic theme for my bullet journal. So I kind of wanted to put just some plain Jane magic general stuff into my grimoire, and I found 100 ways to add more magic, and I literally just stuck it in there on the page here. And this is from The Witch of Lupine Hollow, which is T.C. Stewart. Now, there are some of these things that I did kind of scratch out because, like, it was like, to learn more about moon effects in your life, sign up for my custom email. And I'm like, no, thank you. Not for this purpose. So I kind of scratched a couple things out. There are a few things that I thought were really neat, but some more that I was like, maybe I need to try that. Like, watch Practical Magic. I know everybody probably just gasped. I've never seen it, you know, and it means so much to so many people, but I've never watched it. So I'm like, maybe I'll add that to my to watch list. But I loved the simple things that were in here, like bless your kitchen utensils, such as your spatulas and wooden spoons, that all the food you make with it will promote healing and love. So just like little things like that. Let's see if I have some more right here. Wash your windows with moon water for extra clarity. I thought that was really neat. Let's see. It says make smudge sticks for the seasons using chamomile buds for the spring, lavender for the summer, sage for the fall, and pine for the winter. What else? Find a magical habit that you can practice while doing mundane things like watching TV, such as not magic. And like, I like that, but at the same time, I'm trying to be more present. So like the multitasking thing, I'm trying to do a little less of. I still do it daily, but I'm trying not to. So, but I do like the idea of like maybe sitting in meditation while you do like some not magic. That way you're focusing and creating something with that focus. I kind of like that. So again, this is just a little thing that I can look over whenever I want to and be like, I'm going to try that today. You know, so I thought that was really fun to have in here. And then the last thing I have in here is the Forgotten Secret of Bibliomancy. And it kind of goes through, I found this little, I guess you would call it like a little paper on it. I don't know. But it kind of talks about how, like, the real way to do it is if it falls open and you got to do this and that and the other. And I thought it was really cute, really nice. But then I kind of added my own set of thoughts to it. Because I am definitely a subscriber to you create your own magic. Telling someone that there's a wrong way to do their own magic, I just don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that. So I always say you do what feels right and you do the magic that you want to do. I love having references, obviously. I put a lot into my grimoire. I love to look up and read things, but then I always add and change and do what feels right for me. And then I kind of jot those ideas down. So again, I take the idea, the recipe, if you will, and then I add my own spices. And I just think that that makes it more personal. It makes it more of your own, like this is your own magic that you're doing. So just another bit of my 2 cents for the day. You're welcome. What else did I do in January? Hopefully I'll be adding some maybe inbox stuff. And who knows what else I'll be able to stick in there in February. Fingers crossed I'll be able to get some more of my grimoire. I'm trying to take it easy in February. Easy breezy. Allowing myself to flow in February. So I did do my bullet journal. Like I said, I had a little magic theme. Just kind of plain and simple. My first real big, epic, no. A bullet journal. I did like my mood and gratitude, a couple of things there, and I really enjoyed it. I did try to incorporate, let me see if I don't have any kind of crazy crap, maybe this. I added here little boxes of my card pulls to my spreads, and it worked fairly well, but I feel like I need something a little bit different. Like I'm not really grooving with tarot journaling lately. Like I'm just not, and I'm not keeping up as well with my dailies for myself. So I'm trying to change that in February. I did, however, crack my bullet journal. It is cracked. What happened was it looked like the very first book that was stitched in, and all these little sets, like, you can kind of see now, these little sets here. The first one cracked wide open. It's not terrible. I keep it cinched, but I'm kind of bummed. But at the same time, like, I didn't spend like 50 bucks on this thing. I spent like $12 on this journal. I shit you not. It's really good. I love the pages, but I did crack it. And like, I feel like I'm not rough on this at all. So that was kind of sad. But having said that, I am trying to incorporate a couple of new things this month with regards to my tarot journal. To my bullet journal. And then I think in March, I'm going to add a bigger tarot aspect to it. Thanks to my friend Chelsea, who's like just sent me a bunch of stuff, bullet journal stuff when it comes to tarot. So I'm like, I may incorporate some of that. But anywho, that's how that went. Art. I did one major piece this month. Nope, January. I told you you're just gonna have to deal with this. I did one major piece in January. I did one piece in January, you guys. One piece in January. And if you follow me on Instagram, I did post it. That was this. Now, when I got Reiki done, I sat with this piece. It was supposed to be a simple mock-up of what I wanted to do. When my grandmother passed away, my main thing was when I sat with my grief, it felt like it was all in my throat. It just sat there like this huge, like, swelling mass. Like, that's where my grief was. And so I really wanted to put that on paper. I didn't know how I wanted to do it. You know, I like the idea of the touching of that area. That's kind of where I want to come from. So I grabbed some paper. This is some textured cold press. I don't know if you can see it, maybe like this. You can see the texture on it. Cold press paper. And I was like, I'm just going to try and see if I can get this idea out. And then I'll come back and I'll do it on my hot press, which doesn't have any texture on it, you know, just to kind of make a better piece, because I was like, I really want to do this and maybe put this up in my house, you know, kind of thing. So Maddie, which is the girl who did Reiki for me, I'm going to try to put her information down below. She's amazing, you guys. If you get a chance to maybe follow her on Instagram or contact her for some Reiki, you guys, Anyway, I sat down and I did this. And she called me and we talked about the things that she saw and the things that she felt, and told me just these things that felt like she pulled them right out of my soul. And I was just like, oh my God, yes. She really told me a bunch of interesting things that I've always felt, but I didn't know where they were, if I should explore them, or things that I've kind of like repressed. And she said, and I was like, oh my God, when I was a kid, I used to feel this way, and this, that, and the other. And it really led me into like what I'm focusing on right now in February, which is going to be a little more of like sea witchery and nature, and exploring water and air, plant medicine, different things like that. And while we talked, I just connected with her energy, and I let this painting flow. And when I was done, I looked back at it, and what I poured into this piece, I'll never be able to recreate. It felt like I took a piece of me and just poured it onto the page. I don't know if it was the energy of us being able to connect, that I felt free to throw this on the page, but I did, and now I don't want to revisit it. I don't want to do it again. So and now I have this piece, and I felt like it was such a huge representation of how my grief felt and where it came from. And I did have some requests. People came to me, even one of my friends came to me and asked if I would do prints of this, because it had touched them in different ways as well. And they asked me if I can do prints of them, and if they did, you know, they really wanted to purchase one, whatever, but I don't know how to do that. So if anyone does art prints, anybody, please help me. If you know where I can get these like really nicely printed, I don't want to have just some kind of like shitty copy. If I'm going to do these for these people, I want to do it right, or I'm just not going to do it at all, because like I really want to do it right, you know what I mean? So anybody's suggestion on how to get these printed, these, you know, get it into digital form and get them printed, I'm more than happy to learn. I'm more than happy to take suggestions, so let me know about that. Anyway, that was my main piece. I got a couple of things in my sketchbook, nothing too major, mostly just kind of crap, you know, just like randomness. And I did a little doodle. Got some crystals up there, and something from the Sleep book, which is one of Lennon's favorite books. So I got a little bit in my sketchbook, nothing too major, not like I wanted to, not like that daily practice that I wanted, but I'm getting better because I filled a couple of pages instead of just like no pages. So yay, you did it. Last thing I guess we'll talk about, this is getting kind of long. Books I read or listened to in January. So, I'm a Stephen King fan. I like his weirdness, because like I find like a lot of his stuff is really good. Like it keeps you involved, and then it kind of gets weird, but you're like, it's okay, it's Stephen King. Like he's just got this thing, and I love it. Anyway, The Shining. I listened to this month. I listened to The Shining. Now, The Shining, the movie, the Stanley Kubrick film with Jack Nicholson, has been my favorite movie since I was a teenager. Like, obsessed. I watch it a few times a year. No lie. And so, I don't know why, like, I never picked up the book. I'm just like, this movie's fantastic. I don't need to read the book. Maybe that's what I thought. I don't know. And it's hard because I feel like so many of Stephen King films, like adaptations, are just awful. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. And I loved The Shining so much that I just felt like, I don't know, like I just never picked up the book. So the beginning of the month, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get the audiobook. I'm going to listen to The Shining. You guys, now I have such a love for this book as its own entity. Like, I love the film and I love the book because they're totally separate to me. There's so much that I learned. Like, I feel like I really learned from the book that it just doesn't show in the film. And I know the books are always better. I'm one of those people. Sorry. I'm one of those people. But in this case, the movie is fantastic. And the book is fantastic in two separate ways. Like, there's so much that goes on in the book where you kind of feel like you know the characters more. You have a flawed Jack Torrance where he was just kind of an asshole the whole time. You actually have a character in Wendy, whereas in the movie you just kind of have a overdramatic screaming girl versus like the intellectual that she was in the book. And you also get a feel, spoilers maybe, maybe skip ahead. I'll give a thumbs up when I'm done. How about that? I also felt like in the book we see them all three experience what's going on in the hotel at the same time. So the elevator going up and down, the party going on, they see these streamers, they hear these people, but they all hear it. Kind of like the timelines are collapsing upon the hotel, but they all experience, it's not just Jack, right? Or it's not just Danny. Matter of fact, in the movie, I think the only thing we see from Wendy is when she's coming up the stairs. Now, it's been a hot minute. When she's coming up the stairs, she sees the two people in the room with, like, the dog costume. And so I think that's the only time, like, she truly experiences the phenomenons going on in the hotel, the paranormal feels. But there's so much more to it, and like things are so different. You know, people are not dead like they're supposed to. The whole hotel blows up, you know. They're two totally separate entities, and I fell in love with the book. Fell in love with it. So I give that one, if you're waiting, it's good now. I give that one a huge thumbs up. I really do. Again, I'm biased because I love the movie so much, but I really thought the book was good. The next book I listened to was another Stephen King, but this is Stephen and Owen King, Sleeping Beauties. This was surprising because I almost did not grab it. It tells you that it's like, they have this like woman's prison and there's people falling asleep, and I was just like, oh, I don't know if I want to read that. I don't know. I didn't know what to expect. You know, this is a collab between him and his son. I'm like, are they going to be the same? I've never read anything from Owen King, but you guys, so good. I didn't find it was slow at all. Sometimes there were parts that you were like, I don't know if I'm interested in this, really, but everything tied in. It was very good, and you couldn't tell, you know, like, it wasn't like, oh, this is obviously written by Stephen King, this is obviously written by Owen, you know. It wasn't like that. It was so cohesive. It was a great story. Little bit about it, because I don't want to spoil it. If you like Stephen King, if you like weird thrillers, you should definitely read this book. Little basics, there's a town. It's about this main town that does have a women's prison in it. But what happens is people around the world, women around the world start falling asleep. And the second they fall asleep, they begin to spin this web or cocoon or whatever. And they don't know if it's a disease. They don't know if it's what kind of epidemic it is, but when a woman falls asleep, automatically this stuff starts forming over their faces and they don't wake up. And in this small town, there's a woman who shows up unexpectedly, who they come to find out can fall asleep and wake back up. And it kind of centers around what's going on in this town and what happens when all the women are going to sleep, and what this does to the men, and how they try to deal with the situation, as well as some of the women who are just trying to stay awake. So it's really interesting. There are some parts that, again, this Stephen King, that are just kind of like, this is kind of weird, but it works. If you're a Stephen King fan, read this. Moving along. I also, I listen to a lot of stuff. I definitely tried to keep my mind busy in January. I listened to Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. Now, I found out literally yesterday that there's a movie. I had no idea there's a movie about this book. Anyway, I want to see it. I'm glad I didn't know about it before. This came up on my recommendations list because I listened to my audiobooks from my library. So this popped up on recommended for you, and I was like, oh, it sounds interesting. Y'all, I devoured this book. I devoured it. Like 2 days, it was done. Basically, it's about a woman who every morning she wakes up, and it's kind of this like blank slate. It all depends on, she's got this type of amnesia, but it depends on the day as to what she has retained. So some days she wakes up and she feels like she should be in her home and about 8 years old. Other times she feels like she's in her 20s, but she is, I believe, in her like 40s or 50s, right? So she wakes up and has to relearn what's going on every morning. Her husband, there's a doctor, and it kind of goes through her story of trying to piece her life back together and understand what's been going on and who she is and what happened to her. She starts this journal to kind of keep herself up to date. There were parts where I have to say, like, I started reading it and I was like, I know what's going to happen. It's got to be this person, or this has got to be it, or, you know, this is going to be the plot. But then as it unfolds, you're like, oh, maybe I'm wrong. You know, it's definitely one of those where you think you have it figured out, and then you're like, well, maybe it's this though, but maybe it's that though. So it keeps you going, even though you're like, I think this is what happens. You can't stop listening or reading because it always keeps you guessing, because you think you have it put together, and then something else comes in and you're like, well, maybe not. Maybe it's this, and then you find out another piece of information, you know? So it's very much a like pieced together, because that's kind of where she is. So maybe go watch it, you know, read it. I thought it was really good. Like I said, I devoured that book. I devoured it. I really liked it. As far as for magical books, I'm still plucking away at Natural Magic. I know it's been like 3 months. Hopefully I will finish that one. I think I will. It just kind of sits on my bathtub. And I read it when I bathe. Like, I'll kind of like read a little bit and put it down. It's not something that I really wanted to read all the way through. At first I was a little jaded. I'm like, I don't like it. And then I really started getting into it. So hopefully I'll finish that one. I'll get you that as far as like magic books. I might do that. I'm hoping to finish that in February. Now, as far as for February, I plan on, right now, I'm actually reading this when I'm not listening to it. I'm terrible at this thing. Hold on. Always something. Anyway, so for February, not only am I trying to finish Natural Magic, I'm also have 2 in the works that I am trying to get through, and that is Love Your Lady Landscape by Lisa Lister. I already started reading this, but then I stopped, and with the advice of my Reiki, I have some womb healing that I need to do. So I thought that it would be a good time to pick this back up and read it. I think the first time I picked it up, it just wasn't the right time. And I feel like now is the right time to read it. So I'm going to be diving back into this. As well as me and Maddie are also planning on doing a collab giveaway. So I'm going to create something for her and send it to her. And she's giving away... Oh, let me see if you can see it. It's called Big Magic. Oh, there you go. Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. Creative Living Beyond Fear. She's planning on doing a giveaway like that. Like, don't hold me to it. I'll give you the details when we do, you know, work out all the details. So she talked about this book and that she was going to be giving it away, and I was like, you know what, I want to read it so I can truly feel out this book and know what I want to create, whether it be an oil or a spray or just something, and that kind of corresponds with the book. So I'm reading Big Magic. I've already started it and I really like it already. Like I downloaded it on my it's called Libby. It's kind of like a Kindle, but for my phone. So like I've been reading it on my phone already. I've already started it, and I like it so far. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm reading Big Magic, Love Your Lady Landscape, and I'm finishing Natural Magic. I do have another one that I have on my audiobook list. I've already started listening to that last Saturday, I believe, and that one I can't remember what it's called. So I will let you know that one in March, at the end of February or whatever, along with anything else I read. Other than that, I think that pretty much wraps up January and goes into February. So also coming up in February, I am going to do a video about how I create my flat lays for Instagram. I was talking with Pappa Squirrel, that's Brian. I'm gonna put his information below. He's got a new YouTube channel. He's part of our little tarot community. He's got his first couple of videos up, looking fantastic, and he's got a new Instagram up. But we've been chit-chatting on Instagram, and he had commented about my imagery and the flat lays, and I was like, I'm thinking about doing a little tutorial, and he was like, do it. So I think I'm gonna do one like that for Brian and for anybody else who's interested in how I do my flat lay photography for Instagram. I'm gonna be doing that. We're gonna go through our walkthrough Wednesdays. We're gonna have a bullet journal for March. And then I'll probably do another wrap up where I will include my grimoire, unless I have enough in my grimoire to do a bigger video by itself. So yeah, maybe I'll throw in some magic in there that I'm doing, and who knows what else. If you have any things that you want to see or want me to talk about, by all means let me know. I'm going to try to do some more conversation starters. I am working on some art right there for February, so I will try to get the process filmed. This one may be a little bit bigger, it may not be, I don't know. But my first little blackberry one, I really didn't take me all that long to do, and it was super fun to edit and kind of put together to show you guys. So thanks for watching that and commenting and let me know how you liked it. That was super fun to do. So I might start doing those, and I've seen a few people do kind of like sketchbook story time or stuff like that. Emily Artful, I usually watch her. I think she's really funny. But maybe that'll be an idea. Maybe I'll just kind of talk to you while I'm doing that, just like random stuff. Just because I feel so awkward. I'm like, what do I say? Or I don't say anything. So I'll either leave those kind of like just music, or maybe I'll just kind of tell a story or talk to you guys about a certain topic when I do those. So yeah, I plan on getting some more stuff done in my sketchbook, maybe a couple of other little small art projects. I still have this blank canvas that I'm working stuff out in my head on what I'm doing. This stuff right here is for a watercolor, but that big canvas. I have this multimedia thing going on in my head, and I just don't know how I want to execute that. I had a couple of different things, so maybe I'll work on that in February. Maybe I'll wait till March. I don't know what I'm doing as far as that goes, but that's it, you guys. Now, like I said, I do take requests, so let me know if you have anything that you do want me to show for a walkthrough Wednesday in March. I'll remind you guys maybe at the end of February if you have anything that you do want me to include in March's walkthroughs. I usually pick them the last week. So if you ever have anything like that that you want me to show, a particular deck, if I have it, I'll definitely do that for you guys. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you had a great January. I know mine was a rough one, but we made it through, and we're into February and it's doing fine. So I hope you have a great February, and I will talk to you guys very soon, like tomorrow, which I might even film tonight. 2 videos in one day. Anyway, if you're looking to find me, get down there. You got Instagram, Facebook, which I really suck at. I don't know if I'm going to continue that Facebook. I'm really bad at Facebook. Anyway, you can find me on Instagram. I have an Etsy. I have my email address. I have Patreon and all kinds of other stuff. You can find me down there. And please remember to like and subscribe because it really helps me out. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.